if folks aren't already doing it, I highly recommend getting to know your elected officials and working with them hand in hand. Know your city councilors, your mayor, your county commissioners, your legislators, or even their field reps. We work closely with the field reps for Wyden and Merkley here, especially with the park, and they're great champions for Oregon Caves and the Chateau. So I think it's just really important that, you know, you start having these conversations now to build better identities and communities together so that you're part of the conversation from the beginning, not coming in at the end like, oh, hey, wait, we didn't know about that. Or why didn't you do it this way?
Yeah.
Make sure you go to the city council meetings and just keep them apprised of what you're doing. And if you need any support from them, I think it's really important just to build those partnerships. Working together is the only way to get it done.
This is the Chamber Chat Podcast, the show dedicated to chamber professionals to spark ideas and to get actionable tips and strategies to better serve your members and community. Hello, Chamber Champions. Welcome to Chamber Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Burton, and here on the podcast, I introduce you to people and ideas to better help you serve your chamber members and your community. Today's guest is Megan Curtis, Executive Director of the Illinois Valley Chamber of Commerce. Originally from a small town in Idaho, Megan made Southern Oregon home in 2018 and has been a driving force in the region ever since. She joined the chamber in 2019 and stepped into the Executive Director role in 2022. With a background in hospitality and the service industry, Megan brings deep experience in small business support, rural economic development, and sustainable tourism. Her leadership extends across the region through several key roles, including serving as secretary on the Travel Southern Oregon Board, president of the Illinois Valley Community Development Organization Board, and as an active Rotarian. Known for her energy, optimism, and passion for community building, Megan is dedicated to creating meaningful connections and helping drive lasting impact throughout the Illinois Valley. When she's not working to support her community, she enjoys spending time outdoors and making memories with family and friends. Megan, I'm excited to have you with us today here on Chamber Chat Podcast. I'd love to give you an opportunity to say hello to all the chamber champions who are out there listening. And if you would, share something interesting about yourself so we can all get to know you a little better.
Hello, Brandon. Thank you so much for having me. And hello, Chamber Champions. So, one random thing about me is that I am a twin sister and we were born on Groundhog's Day. So, our entire
Okay.
childhood, everyone was like, do you celebrate with Punxsutawney Phil? And of course, my mom would let us stay home from school on the day if we saw our shadow. So, we always saw our shadow. But last year,
I love it.
last year we went ahead and made the pilgrimage to Punxsutawney. My sister, my mom, and I, all three of us. So we're all three Aquarius, and it was a wildly chaotic and fun girls' trip.
That sounds like fun. Yeah, that's very cool. I love hearing these interesting facts about people. You never know what you're going to hear.
It's true. And that's pretty
Do with
random, but
yeah, but I love it. That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about the Illinois Valley Chamber, just to give us an idea of the size of the chamber, staff, budget, scope of work you guys are involved with, just to kind of set the stage for our conversation today.
absolutely. So the Illinois Valley Chamber of Commerce is a relatively small organization. We're located in Cave Junction, Oregon, which is Southern Oregon. We're about 30 minutes from the California border, close to the Redwoods. So we have a smaller budget, about 30,000 a year, and around 70 members currently. We did receive last year funding through Travel Oregon for our Gateway to the Stars project. So that's up to $100,000 from them. So that's big money we're
Okay.
trying to bring into the Valley.
Yeah, very cool. So we'll, I'm sure, spend more time talking about that as we get into our conversation today. So, do you guys have a tourism focus? Are you strictly chamber? Do you focus on
So
economic
we
development?
have
What's your
both.
focus?
Yes, we're
Okay.
both. We do business building workshops and after hours mixers, the ribbon cuttings, the regular chamber activities. And then we are also the destination management / marketing organization for the city of Cave Junction. And that's why we
Okay.
work really closely with Travel Southern Oregon. They're the regional destination management organization for Southern Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, that definitely will help set the stage for our conversation as we focus on the impact of being a gateway community. So we'll dive
Yes.
into that and what all that means as soon as we get back from this quick break.
Are you ready to take your organization's funding to the next level? Hi, I'm Clint Neesmith, CEO of Resource Development Group. As a Chamber of Commerce or Economic Development Organization leader, I know you understand the value of working with experts who understand your world. And that's exactly what RDG does best. For over 30 years, RDG has specialized in fundraising for EDOs and chambers. We bring cutting-edge strategies tailored to your organization, whether you're just starting out or gearing up for yet another new funding cycle. Importantly, our firm executives are hands-on from start to finish, from the feasibility study to the successful conclusion of your fundraising campaign, and our team brings deep industry roots and national expertise to every engagement. No matter the size of your community, RDG delivers data-driven, innovative revenue solutions, reinforcing ROI to investors and making sure your vision becomes reality. At RDG, we proudly build organizations that build communities. Visit us today at rdgfundraising.com and let us partner with you, building a stronger future for your organization and the community you are working to grow and develop.
With nearly 20 years in the chamber industry and over 100 media awards presented to their chamber partners, Community Matters provides the R&R that every chamber needs: revenue and recognition. When it comes to publishing a chamber map, directory, or community guide, Community Matters has a trusted experience to help your chamber accomplish your goals. With different advertising sales models and publication styles, Community Matters will help you create a non-dues revenue machine. Let's hear from Becky Womble, President and CEO of the Bastrop Chamber, to hear about her experience using Community Matters.
I've been using Community Matters for probably 6 or 7 years now. And in a previous life, I sold commercial printing. So I can highly recommend Community Matters because it's a complete turnkey job for any busy chamber exec. Basically, you give them a membership list, and from there, they contact your members, and it's no high pressure sales or anything. And it really is a complete turnkey job from start to finish. And it's a wonderful, beautiful printed product whenever you're finished. And I'm very sold on Community Matters. And with a printing background, big endorsement for me.
To learn how Community Matters can support your chamber with your next publication, please visit communitymattersinc.com/podcast to request your free media kit and request a proposal to find out what kind of non-dues revenue you can generate. All right, Megan, we're back. As I mentioned before the break, today we're talking about what the impact is of being a gateway community. First, tell us, what does that mean? What does it mean to be a gateway community?
So we are actually known, Cave Junction is known as the gateway to the Oregon Caves. We have a national monument and preserve right here in our backyard. It's about 20 miles out of town. And we are also the gateway to Crater Lake as well as the Redwoods. So being a gateway community, there are a lot of people that travel through. And now we're just trying to focus on how we get them to stop and stay. We want them to
That's very
come,
good.
invest their money in our community, have a great time, make some amazing memories, and then tell everyone they know about it and send them our way.
That's right. That's right. And then you get on podcasts and stuff like that to help promote it, right?
Yes, yes. Come
Come
see
visit Cave
us.
Junction. Yeah.
We have a beautiful, beautiful outdoor recreation opportunities out here.
Yeah. So let's maybe talk a little bit about that, the outdoor recreation activities. So I know you'd mentioned about the dark skies.
In fact,
Tell
the
us about that. And
Oregon Caves is actually a dark sky park through Dark Sky International. So it would be responsible for the city to, you know, make sure that they're doing their lighting in a responsible way so as not to impede on Oregon Caves designation. And so we're looking at hopefully submitting a nomination to Dark Sky International for the city of Cave Junction to be a dark sky community.
okay,
Yeah. And then the
very
outdoor
cool.
recreation here, I mean, we have pitcher plants out here, Darlingtonias, they're cobra lilies. And so they're
Okay.
carnivorous plants. So there's a really great ven of them that you can see on $8 Mountain Boardwalk Trail. It's like a quarter of a mile trail and super easy, very accessible, and you can see the whole ven of them.
That is cool.
But we also
So
have
similar.
wine tasting in the trees, like in tree houses. We have the out and about tree sort. So, and they have a zip line and guided horseback riding tours. So there's a lot to do out here.
That's
Plus, we have
awesome.
the Illinois River. So,
Yeah,
a salmon stronghold out here.
that's awesome. So I've never heard of, you said cobra plants? Is that
The
right?
cobra
Is carnivorous
lilies.
plant?
Cobra
Cobra lilies.
lilies. Yes, they
I'm gonna
are.
have to
They're
check
very
those
cool.
out.
And they really do resemble cobras.
Okay, that is interesting.
I
That's
know
worth a
that's a
trip
really
in
unique
itself.
thing for the valley. And there's some in redwoods. There's like a little botanical trail that you can take and see them in the redwoods, but a lot of people don't see. It's just a tiny sign on the side of the road, so a lot of people don't
When you
see
go to the
that.
redwoods and you're looking up, right? You're not
Yes,
looking down
exactly.
so
Not
much.
looking down.
So yeah, very cool. So what have you guys seen as being a gateway community? You talked about some of these recreation activities, but what are some of the ways that you try to pull and attract and get people to stay there and experience the area and spend time in your community?
Right. So it's been a little difficult. When we moved here in 2018, the Chateau is a historic lodge up at Oregon Caves, and it closed down for renovations. They expected it to be done in about 2 to 3 years. However, they ran into a bunch of seismic issues. And so
Oh,
it's still not open. My husband and I joke, we're like, we're going to live here until the Chateau reopens. And I was like, well, we might be retiring.
yeah,
It's a good thing we really love this place.
that's right.
And then there is a hotel property in the city of Cave Junction, but it also closed in 2019. So right now the chamber is working really hard with partners to try to find a hotelier, that will come in and purchase that property, build a hotel. We're hoping to have the Monterey furniture from the chateau put into our Kirbyville Inn in Kirby so that folks can see what the rooms look like in the chateau without being in the chateau. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're focusing right now, is finding someone to put in a hotel so that people can stay longer. We do have a lot of campgrounds, including a KOA that's brand new. It's absolutely lovely property. Lots of RV camping and lots of dispersed camping, but a lot of people are looking for traditional lodgings. We're having a hard time attracting those visitors at this time, but we're working
Yeah.
on it. Yeah. And we're also
Gotta
working really
find those
closely with
solutions.
Main Street Cave Junction, um, to try to beautify downtown and make it more welcoming. We're hoping to do a brand discovery process for the Illinois Valley. So the Illinois Valley is made up of a few different communities. There's Kirby, Selma, Cave Junction is the only incorporated city in the Illinois Valley. And then there's O'Brien and Tequilma. So we're trying to represent the entire valley and bring everyone together and decide, who exactly are we and how do we want visitors to see us, so that, they're going to come, see what we have to offer, invest in the community, and then tell everyone they know about it.
That's right. That's right. So what kind of space does the Illinois Valley cover? So you mentioned the different towns, but what kind of
So
square miles or how much
it's
space
about
is that?
20 miles. Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say square miles. Yeah. It's fairly big size. There's about 20,000 people in the Illinois Valley. The city of Cave
Okay.
Junction has about 2,000 people in city limits. So the city limits are relatively
Okay.
small. And it doesn't extend to the Oregon Caves, 20 miles up Caves Highway.
Yeah. So on the chamber side of things, as far as supporting and helping develop business and things like that, what are some of the industries that you see in your community? And I would imagine recreation would be up at the top of the list, but what are some of those industries?
Unfortunately, the outfitters here, most of them are in Grants Pass, which is about 40 miles north of us. Grants Pass and Merlin, those communities. We do have a few out here, but we also have a lot of restaurants, gift shops, museums. We have a smoke jumper base museum, and then we have a Kirbyville museum. We have Great Cats World Park, so you can come see the big cats. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of nonprofits in our area. So trying to attract the businesses to open is what we're working on really hard right now. We're holding a pitch night next week. So folks can come in and tell us about all of their great ideas and we can walk them through, here's some funding over here for that, or you should partner with this person to make sure that these great ideas get off the ground.
Yeah. I like that. Tell me a little bit more about that, the pitch night. I picture like Shark Tank, right? You come in
Yeah,
and you
you
share
know,
your idea and you're
yep.
getting feedback and maybe
They're just
not,
gonna
having investors, throw money at it, but you're helping to point them where some
right
funding is.
into the right direction. Yes, especially, with the SBDC at Road Community College. There's a lot of people that decide that they want to do something and then they just do it without a plan. And so then it kind of shuts down fairly early on. And what we would like to see is, this is a great idea. You can go here for help with the business plan so that you know exactly what you're getting into. Or that's a very niche kind of project. I'm not sure that it's gonna, take off here. Just kind of weigh those options out and get some input from others in the community like, oh hey, yeah, that's a great idea and I could totally get behind that. Or
Yeah.
yeah, is there
Maybe
really
help
a
them make
need for that?
connections with,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah. I could see where there could be supporting businesses where, having a certain business come into town would help
Yes.
support another and they feed each other customers. So I could see, having that synergy created.
Yeah. Well, and that's
So how
another
do you
thing that we're trying to work on is the hospitality aspect of it, because a lot of our businesses on Main Street don't realize that they are in the tourism industry.
yeah.
Tourists will stop here. And so we need to be able for them to know that, and this is going on over at the Big Fit Museum today, or this is going on over at this place. And then when they get to that location, the staff there is kind of the same way and is like, oh, if you like this, you should go over to this spot and check this out. And then just kind of send them on a
Yeah.
loop through town.
Yeah. That's great. And I've also heard even just the idea of teaching customer service. When you're in an area where tourists come through, you want
Hmm.
them to feel welcome and the more
Yes,
welcome they feel, the more money they're going to spend and the longer they stay
exactly.
there. And so
Exactly.
customer
Well, and
service is huge.
even the folks that are pumping the gas, if someone's like, what is there to do around here? I mean, the first thing I would
That's
say
right.
is
For
go
those
see the
listening in
cobra
Oregon, you
lilies.
can't pump your own gas, right?
Yeah. Well, we can now since COVID. They usually have a self-serve and a full service.
Okay. I graduated high school in New Jersey, and New Jersey's the other state where, it's full service gas
Yeah.
stations.
Comes in
Um,
handy in the
yeah,
winter. I'm not going to lie.
it sure does. So how are you guys promoting this pitch night? Are you trying to work with, uh, eh, I don't know, the best way of saying it, adults, more established, people that have, making their attempt at business? Are you working with high school students? Are you like, what's your
It's
direction you're
actually
going with it?
open to everyone. We'll be serving food, so that's usually a big draw around here.
Yeah.
But we're working with the Southern Oregon Regional Development Organization, so READY, as well as the Southern Oregon Innovation Hub. So they're promoting it to their members. We're promoting it to our members. We're just kind of cross promoting through those avenues. And of course, we're reaching out on Facebook and social media to try to get the
Yeah.
people that are on there. But there's a lot of folks out here that aren't. And there's a lot of businesses
Yeah.
that don't have websites. So we're like, well, as a chamber member, we could put you on our listings.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So as a gateway community, have you guys got all the gas attendees to figure out how to tell people to go downtown, go to Main Street?
Not yet. Not yet. We're sure working on it.
It seems like that may be an uphill climb.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think the community was really focused on attracting tourists for a long time. I know that safety was an issue out here, like on the strategic plan from 2020. It's a community-wide strategic plan that Illinois Valley Community Development Organization does about every 5 years. And so, public safety was the first priority in the last one in 2020. And we're seeing that trend change right now. And people are wanting the tourism dollars. They're wanting to
Yeah.
see the sense of pride that it brings in the community for folks to be like, wow, this is a really amazing place.
Yeah. To share this amazing place you
Yes.
guys have built.
Storytelling is a big deal right now. People want to feel connected to a place. The way that we tell those stories is what's going to make it memorable.
Yeah. And there's only so much you can do as a business if you're relying on just the people that live there. The best way
Yes.
to grow that pie is to just make it bigger and, let more
Yeah.
people in. So
Widen the circle.
that's right. That's right. Anything else stand out to you about being a gateway community that maybe makes you guys a little bit unique, or different approaches that maybe others don't consider because maybe they don't have to, but maybe could be something that would be beneficial for them to know about, or at
Well,
least hear how you approach things?
yeah, I really think the stars out here are exceptional. I mean, you can look at a light map and see, there's a lot of people that can't see the Milky Way from their home, and we can see that here. So I think being a gateway to the parks and the stars is probably our best bet right now. It is highly sustainable. It is responsible, not just for the people, but for the nocturnal wildlife. We have a lot of bats out here. Those fluorescent lights, it's just, they don't need to be pointing into the sky. We just need to direct the light to the ground instead of all over. So I think it's an important thing to remember that it's connecting you to the cosmos, to the planet, to, you know, giving you a sense of responsibility that I can steward this and in a responsible way, bring in some extra astrotourism.
Yeah, I love that. Astrotourism. I think Elon Musk is trying to work on that too. This is
Yeah, well, in
astrotourism
a
and
different
sending
way.
people to Mars, right?
I think I'm going to keep my feet on the ground.
Yeah, I don't blame you. No, I love that approach though, just making it be a welcoming area eh, for visitors in general, but also to be able to make sure that those that are coming to experience the stars and the beauty, of the Milky Way and everything the sky has to offer, making sure it's retained and is a pristine place for the skies. I think that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. I know. I would love to do some nighttime kayak trips or paddle boarding at Lake Selmac, like come see the stars tonight. But you've always got to have a plan B because it tends to get cloudy here sometimes.
Yeah,
Everybody's like,
yeah.
did you see that full moon or the lunar eclipse? I saw some
Oh, that's
clouds. It
fine.
was pretty, though.
Yeah, it sure lit up behind the clouds. Yeah,
Yes.
that's great. Um, well, I like asking everyone that I have on the show as far as any tips or action items for listeners who want to take their chamber up to the next level. What might you suggest for them as they work towards that goal?
Okay, so if folks aren't already doing it, I highly recommend getting to know your elected officials and working with them hand in hand. Know your city councilors, your mayor, your county commissioners, your legislators, or even their field reps. We work closely with the field reps for Wyden and Merkley here, especially with the park, and they're great, champions for Oregon Caves and the Chateau. They would really like to see it reopen as well. So I think it's just really important that, you know, you start having these conversations now to build better identities and communities together so that you're part of the conversation from the beginning, not coming in at the end like, oh, hey, wait, we didn't know about that. Or why didn't you do it this way?
Yeah,
Make sure you go to the city council meetings and just keep them apprised of what you're doing. And if you need any support from them, I think it's really important just to build those partnerships. Working together is the only way to get it done. It takes a village to raise a village.
that's right. That's
So we
right.
all need to work on this together.
It reminds me of the quote that you need to dig your well before you're thirsty. So building those relationships with your elected officials, before you need something, before your chamber is,
Yeah.
fighting a battle or whatever it is, if you
Yep.
build those relationships, dig that well, put in the work before you
Yes.
need it, knowing that someday it's very likely you will need to lean on those relationships
Yeah.
and
It's
if
very
nothing else,
important
just to
even with
get
the
their perspective.
businesses. Oh, pardon me. It's very
No, you're
important
good.
even with the businesses, don't go to them when you have an ask, when you need something from them. Like be there for them, ask what you can do for them. Same with the city, same with the state legislators, same with the county commissioners. Build those relationships so that when you do have that ask, they're like, we know who this person is. We already have a relationship with them. We see the work that they're doing. So yeah, we want to support them in what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I see it on, with the podcast where I'll have people reach out to me just totally random, I see you do a podcast. I do editing and, schedule a call and I'll be able to show you how I can do, save you time and whatever. I'm like, I don't know the first thing about you. And then there's other people that'll
Yeah.
take the time to listen and I really like this episode and what Megan said about the dark skies. And they bring out these things and then I'm more likely to listen to these people that show that they put forth the effort to show that they care
Yes.
about what I'm doing and it's same way. So as a chamber, if you make those connections, build those connections so you can lean on
Yes.
them later if and when you need them. I think that's a great tip.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we align, then we're protecting the local identity, the unique charm, and making sure that folks know that that's who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Dave Atkinson wrote a wonderful book, Horseshoes versus Chess. And in this, he talks about how a chamber executive, when he joined the chamber industry, it was explained to him that running a chamber is a lot like playing chess. A lot of people think it's more like playing horseshoes where you come and you throw a horseshoe, and if it gets close, then you get a point. It's like it's really much more like playing chess, where you have all these different pieces and they all can do different things. And leading a chamber, you've got your school district, you've got your elected officials, you've got economic development, you've got tourism. So
Yes.
they have all these different pieces, they have different responsibilities, and it's up to you to understand the rules and what they can do and to help
Yes.
make those relationships work.
Well,
So
and it's
I think
always
that,
really important, with the Illinois Valley Community Development Organization, with Main Street Cave Junction, with the city, and with the chamber, we all need to have those meetings periodically and be like, okay, this is our lane. Like, this is what we're focused
mhm,
on. This is your lane. Like, how can we not cross into each other's lanes, but help each other through like supports?
right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, Megan, I like asking everyone I have on the show as we look to the future of chambers of commerce. How do you see the future of chambers and their purpose going forward?
That is a great, great question, Brandon. So, chambers, I don't think are going to continue to just be the resource hub focusing on the small businesses. I think that it's important that chambers are part of that process of, the brand identity, who we are, how we want to be seen, and convening those meetings, So getting everyone together, deciding how we tell our story, how we, you know, because these stories are what's going to help our local businesses, not just the chamber members. And then in helping the local businesses, you're helping the people that live here. So I think that it's really important for chambers to get involved and feel that partnership that shape the future, of your area, of your local businesses. But then
Yeah,
also provide your business workshops and your mixers and our
that's
concerts in the
right.
park.
Yeah.
But it's important in communicating your identity.
Yeah. I've heard it said that it's easier sometimes in the chamber world to do addition than it is to do subtraction. You're constantly
Yes.
adding more and more things, and the list gets longer and longer. And every
Yes.
now and then we got to do some subtracting too, see what's
Yes.
not serving us and where the trends are and really what's making an impact. But yeah,
Yes.
I think
Well, and I think,
that's a great.
being realistic with your board is a really great start. If you're recruiting board members and you're like, oh, it's only like an hour once a month at our board meetings, and what you're really looking for is because I'm a staff of one, I'm part time,
Yeah,
so I'm
part
a
time that
staff of
never shuts
one.
off, right?
Yeah, exactly. So being upfront with them through the recruitment process and being like, okay, so yes, we have these board meetings once a month. They're about an hour, hour and a half long. But we also have concerts in the park through the summer every Thursday. It runs from 6 to 8, but I need folks that are willing to come volunteer for a few hours. Help me set up the cornhole boards. Help me make sure the sound guy gets in and get the food trucks in their proper spots, that kind of thing. So I think it's really important for chambers to be very upfront and make sure that the people that are volunteering for them know exactly how appreciated they are and the difference that they're making.
Yeah. I think that's a great tip and great reminder. I appreciate that. Well, Megan, I wanted to give you a chance to share any contact information for listeners who might want to reach
Sure.
out and connect with you and maybe learn more about the Illinois Valley and
I
just
would love
all that
that.
you have to offer
Absolutely.
there. Where would you point them?
Please come see us. Call me. So my phone number is 541-592-3326. And then I do have a rather long email address. It's Illinois Valley CC, as in Chamber of Commerce, @gmail.com. So yes, please come see us.
We'll get those in our show notes so people don't need to
Yes.
try to write it down while they're driving. We'll make it
Yes.
easy to
No,
find
don't
and
do
link
that.
to it. Right. Very good. Well, Megan, I appreciate you putting aside some time to join us here on Chamber Chat Podcast and to share some of your experiences and the way you guys are approaching things there at the Illinois Valley Chamber of Commerce. And I really just
Enthusiastically.
appreciate you being with us. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
We're doing it enthusiastically with energy and positivity.
That's right. That's right.
No,
But
thank you
thank you
so much for
for
having
being
me.
absolutely.
If you are a Chamber professional, be sure to subscribe to Chamber Chat Podcast on your favorite podcast app or now on YouTube so you never miss a new episode. New episodes are released each week and delivered right to you. If you're finding value in the podcast, please take a moment to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps others discover the show. And most importantly, share Chamber Chat Podcast with your colleagues in the industry so we can continue to grow and strengthen the Chamber community together.
This episode is brought to you by Riverside. If you've ever thought about starting a podcast for your chamber or your business, one of the biggest challenges is recording high-quality audio and video, especially when you and your guest aren't in the same room. Riverside is the platform I use to record every episode of the show. It gives you studio-quality audio and video right from your browser, automatically backs up your files, and even creates clips you can use on social media. It's designed to make podcasting simple and professional without the headaches. If you're ready to launch your podcast or upgrade your recordings, head over to chamberchatpodcast.com/riverside to get started today. Again, that's chamberchatpodcast.com/riverside, the same tool I trust to bring you these conversations every week.